So let's get into that because the Cointelegraph gaffe on Monday kind of distracted from the news about this that we were going to initially talk about. And that was on Friday of last week. The SEC does not appeal the loss in the Grayscale case. So that's why the news potentially on Monday that was fake in the end was so interesting, because it was like, okay, so the SEC takes yet another one on the chin because they are corrupt and have no idea what they're doing, and lose again in another crypto battle, admit defeat. And then it looked like on Monday, oh my goodness, we're actually getting the approval now. Well, that was not actually the case. But let's talk about what did happen, though, on Friday. They didn't appeal the Grayscale case, higher possibility anyway of the GBTC ETF being approved. Let me ask you, when it comes to the SEC, do you think they're starting to give up on some of their crypto challenges at this point? I mean, they're a cockroach at this point. They do not go away. Like Oprah, as we always say, you win a prize, you get a prize, you get a prize. You know, they're suing everybody. So
Right.
do you think this is the start of them, curling up in defeat? Is it the start of Gensler getting out of there? What do you think? Or was this just plainly, hey, the writing's on the wall. We're not going to appeal this one, even though they appealed the Ripple case and got shut down on that too?
Well, I think a lot of it is the judges that are involved. I'm sure they're telling them, don't waste your time. At least I would hope so. They're or the lawyers that are involved are being advised to back off and not press if they can't get a win the first time. I think the writing has been on the wall how unhappy people are with Gensler.
Right.
And, like you said, they're just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. Well, that doesn't really work in the courts because they're wasting quite a lot of people's time, taxpayer money. They're wasting a lot of things. And I think they've been advised that, if they do lose, let's not appeal these things. Let's listen to what the jury says and go from there. So I think that's kind of where we're at. As far as that goes. And if the timer, well, we'll talk about that later, but I just hope things kind of fizzle out. They've lost a lot of steam. They've lost a lot of trust, I guess. I don't know that they ever had a whole lot of trust.
I don't know if they had that. Yeah.
But respect as far as protecting people goes, it's quite clear that they're really not doing that. So, yeah, I hope the writing's on the wall, and I hope things kind of fizzle out. They realize that what a waste of time it's been.
Well, I do think they're losing credibility, which I think is maybe the best word with the judges and stuff, like you said. I mean, after all, we always talk about it like, yeah, they're judges, but they are also human, and they see, what has been going on with the SEC. I think you made a great point, Ewok. Yeah, it's all fine and dandy to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But when judges see that pattern of behavior from you, and it's just like, you guys are here every month with something else. You list you just went on Coin Market Cap and listed the top 10 by, coins by market cap, and just said they're all securities. And then you sue this person, that person, this person. So, I mean, anybody that has an in crypto, maybe not anybody, but almost everyone who has an action against them in crypto from the SEC, I mean, you might as well wipe your ass with it. I don't know at this point, like what it means. But yeah, interesting to see them not appeal it. So we'll see when the ETF does come. Now you have that Grayscale discount up, and you can see how much that has crept up, especially, over the last couple of weeks and everything. But talk a bit, Ewok, about, I know Richard Hart has talked for a long time about how that is a very good leading indicator of where the market is going. And he was using it kind of on the way down a couple of years ago. And now we're going the other direction. So, yeah, what do you make of it?
Well, from July 27th, or was the last big, I guess it was at 30% discount. We are all the way to 13.5%. So, the closer this gets to not being a discount and turning into a premium, that's essentially what drives the bull market is the prices. People will buy spot then instead of this. But, when you can buy anything at a discount, people like sales. It's not a hard concept to figure out. if I can get my Bitcoin at a 23-25% discount rather than buying it on the open market, it'd be just like buying gold at discount. So it's the
Right.
same thing. And the closer we get to zero, the closer we are for takeoff. And I think, that could be within the next month or so, based on the rate of decline that this is seeing right now.
I am with you, and I mean to kind of the greater point of everything right now. So obviously, I mean nobody here is missing it, I'm sure, but the ongoing international tensions, conflict that we're having, obviously, everyone in terms of looking at the markets are in total doom mode. I mean, saying that a recession is inevitable. In crypto, everybody's talking up stable coins and stuff. I think the bankless Soy Boys the other day had on a couple of people that were all pumping up stable coins and stuff like that. Um, as we know, I mean, like when everybody is in one direction with something in these markets, they're typically wrong. So I get it. I understand. We're all programmed for over 2 years now to think everything is just death, doom, and destruction and everything. And I understand, assigning things that are going on in the world right now to why it's going to continue. But I don't know, man. When everybody's kind of gearing up for that, Bitcoin follows the Bitcoin cycle. Like that's just kind of what has been happening,
Yeah.
in crypto. So what do you make of everybody being so bearish still right now? And I'm talking about, I mean, like today, I forget the exact headline, and it could have just been clickbait, but I subscribe to the Robert Kiyosaki podcast on Spotify, who obviously is great. But he had whatever the title of the episode was basically, how do we prepare for like a massive stock market crash or something to that effect? So, well, the financialization of the economy causes stock market crash and depression. So, I mean, everybody's talking about that. Tom Bilyeu, the other week we had that insanely bullish Arthur Hayes interview that was on there, but that episode was titled like, "What do you do to plan for the depression?" and all this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what do you make? I mean, I think we are going up. It's very unfortunate. We've talked about it before, how war usually means money is printed. We're nearing a huge election in the U.S. We have, well, I'm not going to go that far. But yeah, what do you make of what's going on right now and how the market may go?
Oh, I feel the same. I feel the same. We talked about it a lot last week about how wars actually do print money. We're giving money to these other countries. Well, we're not pulling it out of the savings account. They're printing more money. So that means inflation. In turn, businesses like the ones we talked about, Halliburton's and the
Yep.
um, Lockheed
Raytheon.
Martins and Raytheons and Boeing and all of these major companies are going to be pumping money back into the economy. Yes, the ultra rich will get richer. That's kind of how it works. And it you
Go
lost
ahead.
your
Yeah.
camera again.
Go ahead.
Gotcha. But yeah, so it is bullish, and when you're lulled to sleep for, like you said, 2 years, with this decline of prices across the board, and then it does happen, it becomes that disbelief type situation. And I think that's kind of where we're entering into. Doesn't mean there won't be a couple pullbacks. There won't be some sells, and it's got to even back out on the way up before the true bull market really does start. After the halvening. But yeah, it's the same until it isn't, right? I mean, history may
Mhm.
not repeat itself, but it's always very close. And until it does something different, I'm going to assume that we're still in another 4-year cycle. Yes, the macro of the country could play a part of that, but we just kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'll work on the camera thing, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I understand why everybody's in like bearish mode and stuff like right now, but I mean, the fact that everybody is just makes me more bullish in what is going on.